Yes, good Sir Restel, these are all excellent choices. The Red Wizard pushed 4 vials across the wooden countertop, each marked with the flame of Thay and the flag of Prosker. Is there anything else we can help you with? The Sun Elf paused, scratched the long scar on his chin, and thought about his companions waiting back at the inn. Yes, we will need an endurance potion, one of Eagle's Splendor, and one of Haste. Standard discount. Of course. The elf counted his coins while the tattooed mage located the requested items, then asked, "Is Urban Kren working today?" "I believe so," the Red Wizard replied. "Good. His protective tattoo came in quite handy, and I'd like him to make another. If you are as frequent a customer there as you are here, I am sure he would be happy to oblige." A fierce tattooed face suddenly peered through the doorway, a warrior with proud Thayan features clad in chainmail. "Wizard Thazal Tabar, is there anything amiss here?" "No, Arzel Fen. All is calm. Carry on." The woman nodded, then departed. "Those knights of yours give me the chills," the elf said with an exaggerated shudder. "They are our protectors. They are here to combat those who would harm us. Not everyone in this part of the world is as friendly to us as you. Yes, some of my own friends seem to distrust your wares, which is why I come here alone. But your magic has served me well. I'm gratified to hear it. By the by, Tarithi wishes me to tell you that the apothecary has more of your Ziran." An eager look appeared in the elf's eyes. "Excellent. Good day, Thazal Tabar." After the elf left, the Red Wizard laced his fingers and smiled. The fool was already addicted. He would be back for more. Orlando the Seer, Year of Purple Dragons, 1493 DR, from the prophecies and teachings of Orlando. Long considered a threat to peace in Eastern Faerun, the Red Wizards of Thay have a history of war and aggression toward their neighbours and even more distant lands. In recent years, they have also become the principal purveyors of magical goods to the powerful, wealthy, and the desperate throughout much of Faerun. Ensconced in secretive walled enclaves in dozens of cities, the Red Wizards command fear and respect within the borders of native Thay, and even far outside their borders. Today, we dispel the histories of Thay to understand its history, magic, and the dark elements of the most infamous necromantic regions within all of Faerun. Best known for the crimson-robed Red Wizards, who rule the land with an iron fist, Thay is a realm shrouded in mystery. Few outsiders have travelled extensively within its borders unless abducted and sold into a short life of slavery there. The Thayans, who do talk about their homeland, speak of it with such pride as to make most listeners doubt their amazing claims, were it not for the fact that these same rumours surface again and again from a dozen different sources. The Thayans have endeavoured constantly to expand their borders since they won their independence from Mulhorand in 992 DR. In fact, it was only 12 years after that momentous date that the Thayans launched their first invasion of Rashimen. The borders of Thay have changed little since the conquest of the Wizards' Reach around 15 years ago. The Red Wizards keep their armies at home these days, while their merchants have spread throughout the lands of the Inner Sea, selling valuable magic items in well-protected concessions and Thayan enclaves. Rivers of gold, goods, and slaves pour into the Zulkir's coffers from this expansion of Thayan trade. Sastam, one of the most infamous Red Wizards, and his colleagues have come to understand that gold can conquer lands that resist swords and spells, and Thay's monopoly on the manufacture and sale of magic items might be the weapon that brings the Red Wizard's dominion over all Faerun. The country of Thay, once a large portion of the Mulhorandi Empire, extends from the borders of Thesk and Aglarond in the west to the Sunrise Mountains in the east. It stretches nearly 500 miles from north to south and 450 miles from east to west. Most of Thay consists of a great plateau over a vast arid tableland. The plateau's southern, western, and northern borders are a band of broken cliffs and rugged canyons known as the First Escarpment. Atop the plateau of Thay, the land consists of broad, rolling vistas broken by low mesas and chains of jagged rocks. At the center of High Thay stand the volcanic peaks of the Thay Mount. In actuality, a 100-mile chain of fang-like ridges and smouldering cinder cones, whose highest point is more than 17,000 feet high. Thay is a naturally warm, dry land whose lofty elevation prevents the moisture-laden winds from the Sea of Fallen Stars from bringing much precipitation to the interior. Never once to be satisfied with their lot, the Red Wizards have created a network of spells that maintains pleasant weather conditions all year round. This plays havoc with the weather in Thesk, but the Red Wizards do not concern themselves with the difficulties of their neighbors. Thay is a land of divisions, many of which determine a person's place in society and their access to power. While the vast majority are human, there is a substantial humanoid population as well. Most of the non-humans are either slaves or warriors in the various armed forces of the Red Wizards. At an early age, noble children are carefully examined for any signs of arcane talent. Any who are shown to have even a small aptitude are immediately inducted into wizardry school, followed by a long and arduous apprenticeship into a Red Wizard. Those who survive their apprenticeship are ambitious, resourceful, and talented, are invited to join the Red Wizards. Some refuse the red robes, but this is rare. Becoming a Red Wizard is such an obvious path to power that the Zulkirs don't need to recruit anyone. These wizards are the ruling class of this magocracy. It's illegal for a Red Wizard to take on an apprentice of other than Mulan blood. Mulans are the people who rebelled against the Mulhorandi Empire over 400 years ago, and nearly all of Red Wizards are of Mulan extraction. At any given time, most Red Wizards claim up to a dozen apprentices whom they keep at one another's throats to advance their own schemes. The Red Wizards are ruled by a council of Zulkirs, one representing each of the 8 schools of magic. These positions are for life. The only way a Zulkir would ever deign to leave office would be feet first. Within each school exists an elaborate pecking order, in which standing is determined by magical ability and the patronage of more powerful wizards. The current leader of the council is Sas Tam, the Solkir of necromancy. The Red Wizards are evil through and through. Their ultimate goal is nothing less than world domination, and they have spent much of their history in pursuit of that effort by military means. Thay's economy has traditionally been born on the backs of the vast number of slaves who are brought into the country in chains. With the increase of trade in magic items over the past few years, the number of slaves sold hasn't decreased one bit. In fact, now that Thay has enclaves in just about every major city of Faerun, its merchants have even more access to slaves, and the slaves' population is actually growing. Throughout many cities, traders know the dark history of the Red Wizards, but the prices and quality of their wares are just too good to turn down. Anyone, foreigner or Thayan, traveling into the region must carry a pass, allowing the traveler to use specific roads and visit specific cities. Outsiders traveling without authorization find it difficult, if not impossible, to move about the plateau. Patrols constantly scour the roads and byways, searching for escaped slaves or foreign spies. The laws are simple, and the penalties are brutal. They are mostly concerned with establishing who is in power. The Tharkions and Zulkirs consult a set of tomes, known as the Library of Law, when faced with a serious problem. However, most of the time, the authorities ignore these books in favor of expediency. The most important laws are as follows. Only red wizards may wear red robes, so that all shall be able to identify them instantly. Do not steal from others or harm their belongings, especially their slaves. Do not kill another from your class or above. Obey your betters. Until recently, the Red Wizards were divided into two major factions, the Imperialists and the Researchers. The Imperialists, who have had the most influence on Thayan history, believed in the expansion of their borders and influence within Faerun. The isolationist Researchers, on the other hand, wish to keep their lands safe, while perfecting their spells and gaining more power in more esoteric areas than temporal realms. This has changed recently through the ambitions of the oldest Zulkir, Sas Tam. Weary of the constant divisions in their society, he set plans in motion to sweep away the ancient imperialist and researcher conflict. One by one, the Zulkirs have moved away from their old allegiances, now declaring themselves for Tam, against him, or neutral. The School of Necromancy is the most influential and feared, presided over by Sas Tam, the infamous Lich and supreme ruler of the nation. Necromancy, within the regions, goes beyond mere manipulation of life and death. It is a tool of domination, immortality, and perpetual control. Sas Tam's mastery of undeath has allowed him to extend his rule for centuries, amassing legions of undead that labor, fight, and enforce his will. Thayan necromancers are known for their experiments, which include creating powerful undead constructs and discovering new methods of attaining Lichdom. These experiments often involve living test subjects and are conducted in secretive, well-guarded laboratories. The Doom Vault, a necromantic fortress beneath Thay, serves as the epicenter of these dark practices. The Doom Vault was the heart of his domain, deep beneath the Thaymount. The Doom Vault was a secret laboratory and containment structure, housing the phylacteries of Sas Tam's elite liches. They have been constantly attempting to utilize the Doom Vault's research to expand their reach to the north in order to access areas where the patrols of more well-known cities are out of reach. Even without these portals, its combined armies outnumber those of all its neighbors put together. Each Zulkir and Thakion is expected to form a body of troops known as a legion. Other Red Wizards are permitted household forces or bodyguards too. The wealthiest of them may have thousands of troops at their disposal. The various legions include a motley conglomeration of races and even monsters in their numbers. Goblin slaves, orc and half-orc mercenaries, and human cavalry are the most popular troops. The best-known army of Thay is the Griffin Legion, a group of around 400 red wizards who soar through the skies on griffins. These armies defend the region and important cities from harm, where by trade or conquest, some of the most well-known cities by scribes are Eltabar, Bezantur, and, although not a city, the Thaymount. Whether by miracle or design, the former capital survived the changes of the land known as the Spell Plague. The river Eltar flows through the city and a series of elaborate canals into a nearby lake. With a population of 100,000, Eltabar is also the seat for the Council of Zulkirs at times of need. Thakion Salora Salm oversees the city, recently handpicked by Sas Tam. Her magic and the red wizards within the city oversee much of the weather within the area and beyond. This magic controls the volcanic ash and smoke moving down from the large mountain range above. Eltabar is the center of the nation's slave trade, as well as its political center. Thousands of slaves are brought into the markets here every year and auctioned off in the blood-stained public blocks. Once dispatched to their new assignments, most can look forward to, at best, a few months of backbreaking labor followed by a quick death. Located on the southeastern coast along the Alhambra Sea, Byzantium is Thay's largest and most prosperous port city. Known as the gateway to Thay, it serves as the nation's primary hub for trade and commerce. Byzantium is where infamous magical items, scrolls, and potions are sold to merchants from across Faerun. The city's slave markets are among the largest in the world, driving much of Thay's economy. For centuries, cotton, fruit, and grain flowed through the city, enriching the masters of the city and the Tharkion. But the wealth pouring in now is unimaginable. To Byzantium flow the gold, goods, and slaves exchanged in dozens of Thayan enclaves across the Sea of Fallen Stars. So it is not only the largest city, but by far the wealthiest. At the center of the plateau of all regions loom the rugged volcanic peaks known collectively as the Thay Mount. Earthquakes and ash eruptions indicate that local volcanism is increasing, but the Red Wizards haven't abandoned their fortresses on the mountain flanks. Instead, they seem to be rushing to and from them more often, called to secret councils engaged in building new and ever larger fortifications. The military reserve of all the regions is quartered here, and the mountains are also known to contain both the rich gold mines that have funded the Red Wizards for years, as well as the worked mines that descend into the Underdark. Magical workshops and armories lie in this region too, worked by hundreds and hundreds of the younger Red Wizards at the command of their superiors. Religion is secondary to magic in most of the cities and enclaves. But most Red Wizards at least pay lip service to a favoured deity. The usual evil gods and goddesses are worshipped, such as Loviatar, Tolona, and Umberlee. Many outsiders consider the Red Wizards to be fiend worshippers and believe that they treat Tanari and Batezu as gods. This is not true. Most Red Wizards have no time for religion, and even those who do see fiends only as tools or useful, if dangerous, servants and allies. One legend speaks of the Tanari, Lord Eltab, being summoned by the ancient Thayans to fight the god kings of Mulhorand. But in the end, he proved too powerful, and, after being unable to dismiss him, the Red Wizards had to imprison him beneath Eltabar. Lichdom within the ranks of the Red Wizards is both a personal triumph and a political weapon. Sas-Tam, having ascended to Lichdom centuries ago, wields power far beyond mortal comprehension, commanding legions of undead and reshaping Thay's destiny. Under Tam's rule, Lichdom has become synonymous with authority. Those who achieve it are elevated to the highest echelons of Thayan society, their immortality ensuring stability, or stagnation, depending on one's perspective. Yet, not all who seek Lichdom do so willingly. Some are forced into undeath by Tam's decree, bound to serve his will for eternity. Even Sas-Tam, for all his might, is not immune to the isolation and paranoia that comes with Lichdom. His every action is driven by a singular goal: to ascend beyond even undeath and claim godhood itself. Among Thayans, the terms wizard and red wizard have differing meanings. A wizard is someone who wields arcane power in the form of spells. Although wizards may grow powerful and that power deserves respect, only red wizards command true respect. The major difference is the mastery over both magic and undeath. This includes mastery over time in the form of eternity. If a wizard does not have mastery over Lichdom, then to a red wizard leader, they miss a piece of the puzzle that differentiates them, as having full knowledge over all schools of magic. Some red wizards see the mastery and the scrolls of Netheril as a testament to true ascension, although this is not shared by all red wizards. From Thay's point of view, every other nation in Faerun is its foe. It used to be that the Thayans expressed this belief openly, making diplomatic efforts pointless. In recent years, as part of their trade plans, they have toned down their rhetoric. Over the centuries, the Aglarondans have been their most implacable foe. From the Thayan point of view, the peninsula of Aglarond must be theirs. It is a perfect point from which to launch offensives into the other lands surrounding the Sea of Fallen Stars. To the Red Wizards, Mulhorand is the gateway to southern Faerun. Also, it is the motherland of the Mulan people, whom the Red Wizards would love to unite under a single banner. They have tried to invade Mulhorand a number of times over the centuries since winning its independence. The largest problem has always been the geography of the region. Only a narrow strip of land along the Sunrise Mountains allows the Red Wizards' armies to march in between. This reduces the effectiveness of their legions, and so generally they have avoided the effort in recent times. The power of Thay and the Red Wizards have bled into other realms. One notable within the realm of Shadow is Haslan and the famous Red Wizard Haslik. The wizard Haslik always stood one formula away from attaining his dreams. Raised among the merciless Red Wizards of Thay, he steadily rose among the ranks of those obsessive, treacherous spellcasters. Eager and encouraged to push past the weaknesses of mortality, he sought to discover hidden truths of magic and its command of reality. As Haslik advanced in power, he developed rivalries with his fellow Red Wizards. Through petty contests, victories and embarrassments, he grew increasingly arrogant. During these feuds, there was one competitor Haslik was unable to defeat, the Red Wizard Indreficus. They drove each other to feats of magical brilliance, both revolutionary and unspeakable. For a time, the two ambitious wizards knew a wicked peace. That ended when Haslik discovered that his competitors had gained the attention of the land's ruling Zulkers. Heartbroken and enraged, Haslik captured Indreficus and subjected him to a nightmarish experiment that left him permanently transformed into a pain-racked portal. Haslik presented his creation to the Zulkirs, planning to impress his people's rulers and gain their patronage. Instead, the Zulkirs revealed that Indreficus had not betrayed him. Rather, the Zulkirs had watched the pair's ascent and, wary of their potential, sought to undermine them before they became threats. As punishment upon Haslik for his magic upon his fellow Red Wizard, the Zulkirs ruled that every rival he had defeated could exact a penance of their choosing upon him. But as the first attempted to do this, Haslik fled through the groaning portal of his once friend. To his surprise, Haslik emerged in a grim netherworld of fog and hateful visions where Indreficus's condemning voice hounded him mercilessly for all eternity. Red Wizards' mastery over magic extends beyond their feats and shortcomings into domains of dread. Hubs of magical commerce where enchanted items are crafted, sold, and traded on an unparalleled scale. The trade in magic items is tightly controlled by the Red Wizards, particularly those aligned with the School of Transmutation. Artisans, enchanters, and necromancers labor in vast arcane workshops and forges, using the region's abundant resources, including enslaved labor and magical experimentation, to produce goods of exceptional quality. The items are distributed through Thayan enclaves, which serve as both embassies and trade hubs. These enclaves are strategically placed in major cities throughout Faerun, from Waterdeep to Kalimshan. Thay's magical items are as diverse as its schools of magic, but some stand out for their craftsmanship, power, and notoriety. The Amulet of Soul Binding, a necromantic amulet capable of trapping the soul of a defeated foe, often used by Thayan necromancers to fuel their dark rituals. Phylactery wards are powerful protective items designed to shield a lich's phylactery from detection or destruction. These are often custom-made for Thayan liches. Scrolls of binding are used frequently for slave labor of extraplanar beings. These are intricately crafted scrolls containing spells to summon and enslave extraplanar entities, frequently used by Red Wizards to bolster their forces. While the trade in magic items has made Thay an economic power, it is not without controversy. Many of these goods are crafted using methods that involve suffering, from the enslavement of living beings to the desecration of the dead. Some rulers in Faerun openly condemn Thay's methods, yet the lure of powerful magic often silences such objections. Thay is a land forged in ambition and ruled by cruelty, a place where history is etched in blood and power is the only law. From the chains of its enslaved masses to the dark rituals of its necromancers, every corner of Thay pulses with magic, both wondrous and terrifying. The Red Wizards stand as architects of this dominion, their mastery over all schools of magic a testament to their boundless hunger for supremacy. Yet, beneath the veneer of their control lies a land divided by rivalries, haunted by its own ambitions and driven by the unrelenting will to dominate all. It also reveals the awe-inspiring potential of magic and the strength of vision. It shows how knowledge and discipline can shape the world, but it also reminds us that power without compassion leads to ruin. In Thay's dark history and towering ambition, we find a reflection of the delicate balance between greatness and destruction, a lesson that echoes far beyond the borders of this sinister land. Thank you for watching the video. We have more videos planned, so like and subscribe to make sure you watch those when they release. Thanks to our members DJ, Alberto, and Zeno, who have signed up to our memberships. If you would like to support the channel further, take a look at the links for Patreon and our membership on YouTube. See you all on the next video.